Have you ever felt like it was too late to start something new? What about getting into dance? The thought of getting into hip hop or breaking, it seems intimidating because, come on now. We're too old to be spinning on our heads, right? Wait, where's my salampas? Let me share with you firsthand experience that this is all in our heads. And we believe this because this is what societal norms tell us is true. It doesn't have to be true or our reality. We need to start unlearning that toxic self-talk. Whether you're 30, 40, or older, I'm here to tell you that you're never too old and it's never too late to pursue your dreams. Yes, and that also means learning power moves in your 40s. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Confident Dancers channel. My name is B-Girl Mel and I teach hip hop dance online. And if after today's video, you're empowered to get started on your dance journey, book a consultation call with me. Let's chat. Just click on the link below in the description box. So a short story about me, I started breaking when I was 37. I was actually a cast member at the San Diego Zoo, nighttime zoo as the Funky Monkeys. Majority of the cast members were breakers, and I was one of the only rare non-breaker. I was in a place in my life where I was doing choreo for about 15 plus years, and it just wasn't stretching me and letting me grow in a way that I would like dance to help me grow. And so being around all those breakers, I was like, all right, it's time. I got hit with the B-girl bug. So I started breaking in 2016. Today, during this recording, it's 2025, January 3rd, and I'm about 8.5 years into my breaking, and I feel like there is so much that I still have to learn, and so much that I've already learned, majority in my 40s. So the intention of this video is that I hope you leave watching it inspired and empowered that you're never too old to get into anything that you want to get into, especially when it comes to hip hop and breaking. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you 5 mindset hacks that's going to make you feel empowered and get you out there taking a class or jumping in the cypher. Number 1. Breaking the I'm too old mindset. Some of the common fears that people share getting into dance later in age is that they feel they're gonna be judged in class. Like, am I good enough for this class? Are people watching me? Can I catch up? Am I gonna look like everyone else? Or am I gonna look like a fool? These thoughts are more common than you think. I think it's really good to embrace that you're a beginning adult taking class and taking this next step, being brave to level up your dance or just your life period. Being a beginner is not a bad thing. You're bringing good energy and indirectly just kind of telling yourself, I'm ready to learn. I'm ready to learn these new skills to create a healthier and happier life for myself. See, when I first started breaking at 37, I had this weird personal race, this urgency that I needed to be just as good as other 37-year-old breakers. But here's the thing, I'm comparing my 2 months to someone's 20 years. I was trying to get good like someone who's been dancing for 20 years when I've only been dancing 2 months. Yeah, delusional. But here's the thing, I think it's also important to acknowledge getting into something really late doesn't mean that we're too old to succeed. And what everyone's definition of success is gonna be different. Sure, when I first started, my definition of success was I need to be a champion. But over time, my definition of success was I want to be able to kill it in the cyphers this long. So the way I started, my mental maturity on the way I started to where I am now is evolving. So also trust that will happen to you. Even though you're getting into something late, there's still gonna be growth, not only in skill, but in mindset on the way you see yourself. Mindset number 2, comparison is the thief of joy. Focus on your own journey. What tends to happen a lot with adult beginners, and I have these conversations with them, is that we're comparing ourselves to younger and more experienced breakers. Like, no, we just can't do that. And what I was doing for a long time is I was comparing myself to younger B-girls who've been training and dancing and competing 20 years longer than me. But in my head, I had this unrealistic and delusional thought, oh, so-and-so is 40, I'm 40, so I need to dance like them. So again, going back to mindset hack number 1, I'm comparing my 2 years to someone's 20 years. So once we acknowledge that comparison cannot be a factor in this journey, one thing to consider is now, instead of seeing where we're not, but rather where are we now? And to do that is to document our wins throughout our journey. So what I do is in every practice, every class, every jam, every cypher, whatever it is, any space where I get to be, I document the win for that experience. What did I do that felt good to me? What did I do that added value to this space? Those are the ways that I measure wins. I measure my wins on what I consider being a personal win for me, something that I'm either getting good at or something that I've never achieved before and it happened that day. Example, I hit the ciphers all night that I've lost count. Before, I used to be able to count in one hand how many times I've hit a cipher in an entire night. So being able to hit the ciphers all night is definitely a win for me. That shows me how much stamina I have, how I'm enjoying the music, how I'm able to just be free without thinking, not caring if I'm repeating, just enjoying. That is a win for me. So every time I experience my own personal win, I write it down in my journal. So it allows me to see how far I've come instead of how far I need to go. Mindset number 3, overcoming fear and anxiety. This is a tough one. I'm gonna be transparent that I still have fears and anxieties today, but I don't have that fuck it mentality. I don't have that like, fuck it, it's there, whatever. I'm actively trying to improve myself, finding ways to create peace in my mind and in my overall life. So for me sharing this with you, I'm just sharing you on what I experienced and what I'm currently doing to work on my own personal fears and anxieties. So one of the biggest fears I had was going into the cypher because I felt like I was such a beginner. I felt like I had nothing to offer. So in my mind, I was thinking, okay, if we go into a cypher, I better have some blow-ups. I better get people to go, oh shit. And I better get people to be clapping their hands every time I exit. Like that was in my mind what I was expecting for it to be when I go into a cypher. So of course, as a beginning breaker, not having any power moves, feeling like I don't have enough, and putting this high expectation of my success as a choreo dancer needs to feel the same way as I walk into a cypher. Again, I'm freaking delusional to think that. That's not gonna happen. So what did I do? I pretty much avoided cyphers. I barely ever got into cyphers. I think the first time I ever jumped into a cypher was maybe a month into breaking and there was no one watching. So I guess I could say it wasn't even a cypher, it was an open space with no one watching. So here it is, 2016, 17, 18, 19. The number of times I jump into a cypher at a jam, it's the number of fingers or less that I have on this hand. And then eventually after the pandemic, when things started to open up and we were able to travel, I was already like, enough is enough. So I told myself, okay, if I want to have longevity and enjoy this dance, I can't rely on battling to give me that joy. I hear all these people talking about like loving the cyphers, feeling the ghost in the cypher, and feeling free. So I want to feel free. So what I did for myself is I dedicated like 2 years to traveling and going to these events just to practice ciphering. I'm saying practice ciphering. So I wasn't going out there to try and like get a Cypher Queen or Cypher Award. I went there to collect data. Okay, I did me, no power moves, very little experience on even how to communicate in a cipher, and I just did what I thought was right and then studied and collected data along the way. And you know what ended up happening during those 2 years? I actually did get a Cypher Award. I actually did become Cypher Queen. I actually did become Cypher Award finalist at these events, and I didn't try. I was just going in to practice ciphering. So this is what I learned. It's not bringing the best moves in a cipher. A big part of it is bringing the best energy in the cipher. People won't always remember the moves that you do, but they'll remember the energy you bring and how you made them feel in the cipher. These fears and anxieties come up because sometimes we have these high expectations of what we're supposed to do in a cipher. I also have a video that talks about way more tips and tricks on how to be confident in a cipher, and you could click on that link in the description box below. And just to even close off this section, I'll say this. There's other people out there with way more experience, way more accolades, who have the same fears and anxieties that we do, but they're really good at hiding it and not showing it. So just know that you're not alone. Everyone has these fears, these anxieties, these insecurities, but with practice, treat it like school, treat it like practice. No expectations, you're still learning, you're not performing, you're just gathering data to see what works for you, what feels good to you, and then at the next event, you could try and experiment more ways. Mindset number 4, consistency beats talent every time. The power of persistence and why having persistence will allow us to have longevity over time, especially when we start at a later age. Think practice makes progress, not practice makes perfect. Because if you have perfection and people-pleasing issues, this is going to be a toxic type of way of thinking over time, and it's going to create harm in the physical. Progress is a result of dedication and not innate ability. We need to fall in love with the journey, fall in love with the progress, not the results, not the trophy, not the outcome. The journey. The journey should take priority over the results. Let me share with you a personal story. I've been wanting windmills forever. I'm talking continuous windmills, not just one, but like continuous windmills. And at the moment, I have army roll windmills, but not the windmills that you see that these high-level breakers do. So I've been practicing the skill of windmills consistently, at least 4 times a week since August of 2023. As of this recording is January 2025, and I still don't have the continuous windmill that you see high-level breakers have. Again, I have the army roll windmill. I'm still happy about it. But hey, let me tell you, for a long time, I used to be really frustrated with myself. And I would say like, man, fuck, why don't I have these windmills? What's wrong with me? I've been training all the time and I've been doing all these things. But sometimes I get lost and I start to see what I don't have, instead of what I do have. And what I do have is in the time that I was training this windmill, I was getting other little mini moves along the way. Like for example, I'm able to get this head coin move consistently. I'm able to go from top rock to windmill. I'm able to get backspin to baby freeze. I mean, the work that I needed to do is acknowledge all the mini wins that showed up, even though the Mount Everest win of having a windmill didn't show up yet. All these mini wins showed up along the way. So what I'm trying to say is try not to get obsessed with the goal and be so locked in what we're trying to do. Be open to other creative possibilities that come along the way. Mini tip, we also have a choice on what we see. Both statements are true. I do not have my windmills. I have all these other mini moves that showed up along the way. Both are true. What am I gonna choose to dedicate my mind and energy to see? Am I gonna see, I don't have shit, I suck, what's wrong with me? Or am I gonna see, oh my God, I have this move and I got this move, oh, and this move showed up and I'm stronger. So it's a choice, and that was one of the hardest parts I had to realize. So to close it off, stay consistent. Mindset number 5, the last one, take pride in starting small. For example, if you want to get into breaking and you want to learn all those amazing dynamic moves, the flips, I'm talking windmills, head spins, flips, air flares. It's good to have all of those goals on your radar, but it's also very important to be open and excited to learn the prerequisite moves to those Mount Everest moves. It's important to be aware that if we're getting into breaking, especially as an adult, we don't have these strength training experiences. So we have that power move in our radar, but we don't have the strength yet. So it's really important to know that we gotta now find joy, not only in learning the move, but also working out our muscles to develop the strength to achieve the prerequisite moves in order to get the Mount Everest move. You know what I'm saying? Which brings me into this next point about the importance of being okay to start small. Always remember why this is fun for you. Bring joy and curiosity into this learning and growing journey. Celebrate being a beginner. Bringing joy in this growing experience allows us to be relaxed. And when we have a relaxed mind, it allows us to take in information easier and learn and execute. When we're tense and we're frustrated, we're like, what the fuck? And you learn this one day, what the hell, what's wrong with me? That energy is not gonna be open for you to learn skills. If we're frustrated or tense during the learning process, none of the things are gonna show up for us in the way it deserves to show up for us when we're learning. This is actually why I love teaching beginning classes, because everyone is excited about learning the smallest and easiest things. And I'm telling you, there's the energy to learn, to grow, and then that's why growth happens really fast in my beginning classes. Recently, I've been having opportunities to teach adult beginning breaking, and in those classes, we were able to get top rock, go downs, footwork, and freezes executed in the first class. And that's because I was using the mindset, the approaches, the techniques of teaching beginning at a college level into these beginning breaking classes. And we were able to achieve something amazing. And so now it empowers them. Oh, I can do this. I can do more. But we didn't do anything wild. We just did fundamentals and we made it fun. So kind of going back, being a beginner is exciting. This is a valuable phase in our learning journey. Being around that type of energy is probably the biggest reason why I have the energy I do when I learn and dance today. I love being in learning environments and I feel like I'm at my best learning. Everyone's different, but when I'm in classes, I'm able to take in information really, really fast. And that's because I just know I'm having fun, I'm open to all the possibilities, and then things just start to happen for me in those spaces. All right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know that was a lot of information, but I hope watching this video empowers you that you are not too old and it's never too late to pursue your dreams, especially when it comes to learning how to dance at a later age, especially if you want to get into breaking. I think the biggest takeaway that I can share with you is it's really important to celebrate your small wins every day and every single time you get into that dance space. I journal it so it allows me to, at any time during the day, see how far I've come, how much I've grown, and how much I've loved this journey. So closing message, age does not matter at this point. What matters is how much you want to show up for yourself and level up on your personal best each day. I hope this video empowers you to make a change today. The dance floor is waiting for you to bless that space. All you need to do is take that first step. And if you're looking for a program to get all the basics on your hip hop grooves, I'm talking basic steps, top rock, which is the upright form of breaking, 90s party dances, or freestyle hip hop, let me coach you personally. And the link to get more information is in the description box below. Take care.